How much do you think this black crystal showing on your screen right now is worth? Most people don't even know this kind of stone exists, let alone how much it could be worth. And when you talk about its origins, most people don't believe it. But the truth is, this slightly porous crystal with a metallic shine is actually a diamond. That's right, and not just any diamond. This one is called the Enigma. It weighs over 550 carats and was sold for nearly $5 million for a stone that, in its raw form, can be found in nature looking just like this. That's not the whole story. What makes black diamonds different from regular diamonds isn't just the color, it's the origin. Very few black diamonds have the crystal clarity to be cut and polished like the Enigma. The conditions of that kind of formation are so extreme, they only occur in massive cosmic explosions. That's why many of the world's top scientists believe this stone came from space, carried to Earth by a meteorite that crashed here thousands of years ago, which means a stone like this could have landed in your own backyard before you were even born. But the black diamond isn't the only one. There's a whole list of black gemstones that are just as rare, just as mysterious, and just as valuable. And depending on where you live, some of them might be much closer than you think. For example, what you're seeing on your screen now is a high-quality black opal found in Australia. A single specimen like this can sell for more than $10,000 per carat. That's why today, you're going to learn how to find 5 of the most valuable black gemstones in the world, including diamonds. We'll explore where they form, how they're created, which minerals indicate their presence, and how to recognize one of these stones even when it's still in its raw form, disguised as an ordinary-looking rock. From the most accessible to the most expensive, and who knows, by the end of this, you might realize you've already stumbled across one of these and didn't even know it. Black tourmaline, the first gemstone on our list, is one that many people have seen before. It's more common, but that doesn't mean it's not valuable. Most folks don't give it a second thought. It's black, usually has a matte appearance, a rigid texture, and a long, narrow shape. To someone who isn't familiar with gemstones, it might just look like a chunk of coal. But if you know what you're looking at, this could actually be black tourmaline. Depending on how it formed, how big it is, and the condition it's in, this little stone could be worth a lot more than people realize. That's because black tourmaline can sometimes form as high-quality crystals, like the one you're seeing on your screen right now. This is a raw specimen, completely uncut, and yet it's already stunning. Black tourmaline, also known as schorl, is one of the most common members of the tourmaline family. But even though it's widespread, finding a crystal that's well-formed, fully intact, with a clean prismatic structure and smooth surface already gives it market value. In its natural state, it appears as vertical columns or dark rods with grooves running along the surface, almost like parallel lines carved into the stone, resembling ancient Greek pillars. And that's your first clue that you might be holding something special. Here in the United States, the best places to find black tourmaline in nature are areas with pegmatite formations, an igneous rock that usually forms in regions with strong ancient geological activity. California, for example, has incredible sites in San Diego County where tourmaline has been mined for over 100 years. Another hot spot is the state of Maine, especially around the granite pegmatites near the town of Paris. You can also find tourmaline in smaller quantities in Colorado, Utah, Virginia, and even parts of Arizona and North Carolina. The key is always the same. Look for granite-rich terrain filled with quartz and feldspar. And since we're talking about quartz, here's something important. One of the best indicators that you might be near black tourmaline is actually quartz itself. These two minerals often grow side by side. In many cases, you'll find quartz crystals with tiny black lines running through them. Those aren't cracks. They're tiny black tourmaline crystals that grew inside the quartz. Pretty amazing, right? Another important sign to watch for is white feldspar, especially when it has dark specks or internal fractures. In deeper pegmatite zones, you might also find muscovite, lepidolite, and other minerals that are commonly associated with tourmaline-rich environments. Now, let's get to what most people want to know. How much is a black tourmaline stone actually worth? Well, black tourmaline isn't a rare gem. That means the price per pound for a small, basic raw crystal isn't very high. But if you happen to find a larger piece, nicely formed with good texture, or a quartz matrix with tourmaline needles running through it. A pound of high-quality raw black tourmaline can sell for up to $50. A polished piece with professional cutting and strong shine, used in jewelry or as a protective amulet, can go for over $100 per carat. And if you have a full museum-grade crystal, the kind collectors dream of, the value goes up even more. What makes it even cooler is that even though it's more accessible than the other gems on this list, black tourmaline has a fascinating geological story. It forms deep underground in environments with intense heat and pressure, where minerals rearrange themselves to create those solid, dark crystals. So, if you ever come across a black stone that's long with ridges along the surface and a texture that looks like fractured glass, think twice before tossing it aside. You just might have found a genuine black tourmaline. And even if it won't make you a millionaire, it's still a beautiful piece to add to your collection or to sell for a solid price. Black spinel. But if black tourmaline isn't exactly what you're hoping to find, don't worry. We're just getting started. Some of the black gemstones we're about to explore are so striking that even full experienced gemologists. So pay close attention, because this next one looks just like a fine jewel. It has a strong glassy shine, and if you're not careful, you could easily mistake it for a sapphire. I'm talking about black spinel, number 4 on our list. Spinel is a gemstone that's always lived in the shadow of more famous stones. For centuries, it was confused with rubies and sapphires because of its rich color and brilliance. In fact, some of the most iconic royal jewels in history, including the gem in the British imperial state crown, are actually spinel that were once believed to be rubies. And when it comes to black spinel, things get even more interesting. Its shine is so intense that many people think it's been treated or dyed, but it hasn't. It naturally forms that way. To give you a clearer idea, raw black spinel usually forms in octahedral crystals with a glassy surface. It's common to find pieces with small fractures along the edges, giving them a faceted look even without being cut. When you find a small one, it might look like just another shiny fragment in a gravel bed. But when a larger piece shows up with natural shine and a well-defined shape, the value starts to climb. If you're trying to find one, look in regions with metamorphic rocks or certain igneous rocks, especially those rich in magnesium and aluminum. And here's a tip. Where there are sapphires and rubies, there might also be spinel. That means areas known for sapphire or ruby production may also be hiding valuable spinels, including black ones. In the United States, black spinel has been found in parts of New York, especially around the Adirondack Mountains, which have a history of deep metamorphic activity. There are also reports from New Mexico and areas of Colorado, but most finds are small fragments that often go unnoticed. They look like obsidian or volcanic glass. The difference is that spinel is denser and keeps its brilliance even after wear. Indicator minerals include corundum, magnetite, and sometimes altered dolomite or calcite in secondary deposits. Garnet is also a good sign that spinel might be nearby, especially in alluvial gravel. Now, let's talk numbers. How much is a high-quality black spinel worth? It depends. Most stones range from $50 to $300 per carat. It all comes down to the cut, the shine, and how dark and saturated the color is. The darkest stones with mirror-like surfaces and sharp cuts are used in luxury rings and high-end jewelry. And if you find a natural black spinel that's well-cut and over 1 carat, the price can go over $1,000, especially if it's sold as a collector's gem. So the next time you're out prospecting and find a small black stone with geometric angles and glossy surface, don't overlook it. It could be spinel. And even if it's not as famous as a diamond, anyone who knows gemstones will tell you, black spinel is one of the most elegant and underrated stones on the market, black star sapphire. But it's not the only one. The next gemstone on our list might even surpass spinel in one area that's hard to describe, the visual spectacle. From the outside, it just looks like a plain black stone. But when the light hits it at the right angle, golden rays appear, as if a living star is trapped inside the gem. Just look at it. In my opinion, this is one of the most stunning natural phenomena in the entire world of gemstones. And yes, I'm talking about the black star sapphire. This rare effect is called asterism. Very few people even know it exists. It's an optical phenomenon that happens when light reflects off microscopic inclusions inside the stone. The light forms a star-like pattern that seems to move with your hand. It's like someone drew a perfect 4-point, 6-point, or even 12-point star inside the gem and left it there forever. But this star only shows up when a sapphire is cut in cabochon. That means in a smooth, rounded shape without any facets. In its raw form, black sapphire is dense, extremely hard, usually hexagonal in shape. Its color is dark and opaque. At first glance, it might look like just another dull black rock. But inside, it holds one of the rarest and most sought-after effects in the entire gemstone world. And here's a valuable tip. The more symmetrical and visible the star is, the rarer and more expensive the stone becomes. That's the key difference between an ordinary black sapphire and a high-value star sapphire. In the United States, your best chance of finding black sapphires is in the state of Montana, especially around Yogo Gulch and Rock Creek. But the darkest ones with clearly defined asterism are more often found in alluvial deposits. These are areas where erosion has moved the stones and the host rock down into riverbeds. If you're in a region with a known history of corundum, it's worth checking dry gravel bars or stream banks. Sapphires, even black ones, often appear alongside garnet, zircon, and spinel. These can be good indicators. Another important point, black sapphire is one of the hardest minerals on Earth. It's second only to diamond. So if you find a black stone that scratches glass easily, doesn't have visible fractures, and feels heavier than it looks, you might be holding a sapphire. So what's it worth? Basic black sapphires used for decorative purposes or entry-level jewelry range from $20 to $100 per carat. But when it comes to star sapphires with perfect asterism, everything changes. A high-quality star sapphire with symmetrical star, deep color, and intense shine can sell for over $2,000 per carat, especially if it's set in a gold ring or luxury piece. Now imagine this. You're walking through a dry riverbed. You spot a small, rounded black pebble, nothing flashy. But then the sunlight hits it just right, and a golden star reveals itself at the center of the stone. That's the moment you realize this isn't just another rock. It's a star sapphire, and if it's large and well-cut, it could be the discovery of a lifetime. Black opal. But don't go anywhere yet. We still haven't reached the top. The next gemstone in our ranking is one of the most mesmerizing stones that exist. Black on the outside, but with flashes of color so intense, they look like living holograms inside the gem. At one point, it was considered the most valuable gemstone in the world per carat. And it's so rare, many believe it's impossible to find one in nature. But they're wrong. It might be hidden in a place much more accessible than you think. Black opal. Just hearing the name already hints that we're dealing with something rare. But what most people don't realize is that it's not just rare. Among all the gemstones of the world, few create the same visual impact as a high-quality black opal. Unlike other types of opal, the dark base of the black opal actually makes its color play even more intense. And when that happens, it feels like the colors inside are alive. Blues, greens, fiery oranges, bright golds, even deep reds, all blending together in a single stone that looks like it was hand-painted by some master artist. This explosion of color has a name. It's called play of color, an optical effect caused by the internal structure of the opal. If you've ever seen how Newton's prism splits light, you already have a good idea of what's happening inside the stone. In simple terms, when tiny silica spheres arrange themselves in a highly precise pattern, they split light into its different wavelengths. That create a visual effect that resembles liquid fire, northern lights, or even a lightning storm trapped inside a gem. And the darker the opal's base, the more vibrant the colors appear. That's why black opals are the most valuable members of the opal family. In raw form, they don't look like much. Most black opals are found embedded in host rocks, often hidden inside irregular pieces of basalt or claystone. Sometimes, you'll only see a faint flash of color on the surface. But once you crack it open, the show begins. Sometimes, all it takes is a simple cut or polish to reveal the hidden beauty. Some stones reveal patterns so vivid they look like moving images. That's when the value skyrockets. In the United States, the best place to find black opals is in Nevada, more specifically, the Virgin Valley region. There, opals form inside ancient volcanic deposits. They're buried in layers of fossilized ash and silica-rich clay. The mines in that area are well known among collectors and gemstone hunters, and the chance of finding a real black opal there is absolutely real. But it takes a trained eye and a lot of patience. Outside of Nevada, smaller occurrences have been recorded in Idaho and Oregon, but nothing compares to the potential of Virgin Valley. If you're out looking for signs of opal, focus on areas with porous volcanic rock. Look for silica deposits, fossil layers, and recent erosion zones where pieces might be exposed. A good sign that you're in the right area is the presence of chalcedony or agate. These minerals tend to form under similar conditions. Now, here's the part that might blow your mind. A basic black opal with low brightness might be worth around $50 to $100 per carat. But a black opal with a harlequin pattern, that rare effect with colorful interlocking checkerboard shapes, can go for more than $10,000 per carat. That's not just a theory. It's a real price for well-cut stones from Virgin Valley or Australia's legendary opal fields. A single stone just 2 or 3 centimeters long, with vibrant colors and a clear pattern, can easily be worth more than a brand new car. That's why many consider black opal the most valuable gemstone in the world by price per gram. But what's even more incredible is that even though it sounds like something from a fantasy, black opal can be found in surprisingly accessible places. Some people have found fragments of black opal hidden in chunks of hard clay. Others discovered small nodules tucked among dry gravel beds near volcanic slopes. So if you ever find yourself in Nevada or anywhere with a history of volcanic activity and silica-rich terrain, don't underestimate a dark stone with just a hint of shimmer. You might be looking through a window into one of nature's greatest light shows, black diamond. But as impressive as black opals and star sapphires may be, there's still one gemstone that, in my opinion, is the most extraordinary of them all, and it's for one very specific reason. It might have come from outer space, and no one can prove otherwise. Think about it. The more refined the process behind a luxury watch, the more valuable it becomes. Take 2 identical watches, one made by Rolex, the other by Casio. Both might tell time perfectly, but in the luxury market, the Rolex will be worth far more. And when it comes to gemstones, it's not that different. Black diamonds that formed in space, forged by cosmic explosions, can reach astronomical prices. And the best example of that is the legendary diamond known as the Enigma. This diamond weighs exactly 555.55 carats. It's the largest cut diamond in the world, and it was sold for $4.3 million. Scientists believe it originated from an asteroid, or that it was formed by the impact of a meteorite that struck Earth millions of years ago. Its composition is completely different from standard diamonds. It's made of carbonado, an extremely rare variety that contains pure carbon, graphite, and even traces of hydrogen, all elements that support the theory of an extraterrestrial origin. And here's the craziest part. It wasn't treated, it wasn't dyed, and it wasn't created in a lab. It formed naturally, black, porous, dense, and with a metallic luster, a shine unlike anything you'd see in traditional gems, and yet absolutely mesmerizing. So now you might be wondering, can a stone like that really be found in nature? Yes, it can. Even though it's extremely rare, natural black diamonds do occur. In fact, here in the United States, there's a public park in Arkansas called Crater of Diamonds. Anyone can dig there and try their luck. And believe it or not, there have been confirmed reports of black diamonds found by regular visitors. Beyond that, the best places to search are areas with deep volcanic activity, especially those with kimberlite or lamproite rocks. If you ever find yourself in a place with pyrope garnet, spinel, chromite, or ilmenite, stay alert. Those are classic indicators that something valuable could be hiding below. Now, here's a key tip. In its raw form, a black diamond doesn't look like a gemstone at all. In fact, it often looks like a piece of hard, rough charcoal, dull, jagged, brittle. Most people throw them out, thinking they're worthless. But if it's a genuine carbonado with high density and extreme hardness, the value could be enormous. And when I say enormous, I mean it. A natural black diamond, professionally cut, can be worth thousands or even millions of dollars. The Enigma is just one example. There are other, smaller black diamonds that are so pure and well-formed, they're auctioned as museum-grade treasures. Some of them sell for over $10,000 per carat. It all depends on origin and rarity. So if one day you come across a black stone that's heavier than it should be, doesn't scratch easily, and has a strange, dense feel to it, don't ignore it. You might not just be holding a rare gem. You might be holding a fragment of another world. If you enjoyed this incredible story of cosmic fortune, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more amazing discoveries. We dive deep into the world of meteorites, crystal mining, rock hounding, and real-life treasure hunts. Stories that prove adventure and fortune could be hiding just beneath your feet or even falling from the sky. Want to learn how to identify rare gems, hunt for meteorites, or uncover hidden treasures? Check out our other videos where we explore ancient artifacts, legendary lost hoards, and the secrets of Earth's rarest minerals. The next big discovery could be yours. Stay tuned and keep exploring with us.